My name is Daniel, and I'm straight Caucasian, Catholic, immigrant,
in school,
middle class,
in a relationship.
Did you get all that? Probably not. That's okay. It's a lot to take in all at once. As you can see, we all define and identify ourselves in many different ways. These intersecting identities are classified as intersectionality. But what does intersectionality look like in the real world? Well, just take yourself for example. Think of all the social groups you belong to and all ways you identify. Your age, sexuality, nationality, religious beliefs, gender, cultural background, socioeconomic status, everything that might describe you. We've created a lesson to help teachers and their students understand the concept and complexity of intersectionality. Since intersectionality basically is every facet of a person's identity, you may be asking, what exactly am I covering with my class? The short answer, nothing in particular. The aim of the lesson is to get your students to empathize with the struggles of others, so a good place to start is with identifying their own struggles. That's what they know best, and nobody knows it better than them. Our lesson starts with each student being given a word map with the prompt, I am, at the center. As the teacher, instruct your students to fill it out as much as they can. Try connecting lines to the I am bubble. They can think about socioeconomics, status, nationality, gender, sexuality, and anything they can think of. Make sure they do this anonymously. Next, take them and redistribute them. Now your students have new word maps in front of them. Your students are to make commentary on these ways of identifying by making new lines in a different color. These comments are pros and or cons. There are no right or wrong answers. Some examples might be, authority figures might be harsher to this group, or the news depicts this group in a negative way. Recollect the word maps. For the next activity, you will need an open space like the gym if your classroom cannot accommodate. This activity is called continuum. The continuum is an imaginary line with one end representing the response, strongly agree, yes, positive, and the other, strongly disagree, no, negative. Before you start the continuum, hand out character cards to your students. These cards will have descriptors such as nationality, gender, religious views, etc., like the word maps. Students will place themselves on the continuum where they feel their character would most appropriately belong for a given question or statement. Don't be afraid to bring up things you normally wouldn't in your class. Some statements we suggest include, I'm afraid to be open with my sexuality, or I wish I had more income. After every few rounds, try engaging your students in discussion as to why they place themselves where they did on the continuum. Try to have enough statements to fill 20 minutes. After continuum, we're going to do a writing exercise. Using a projector, put the continuum statements up for your students to see. Staying in the role of their character, have your students write about why exactly they felt the way they did about some of the statements. They should include at least 2 memories from their character's past in relation to these topics. When everyone is done writing, collect them and redistribute them like you did with the word maps. Ask some of the students to share any standout memories. To recap the lesson, put the word maps on the floor of the classroom so the students can collect their originals. Now, using their own word maps, go through a quick session of continuum with your class. This will help your class gain a more personal connection to the material and themes. Now that you're finished the lesson, hopefully you've learned a little bit about intersectionality and a little bit about yourselves.